having been duly appointed
as an officer of the Aurora Police Department
as an officer of the Aurora Police Department
for the City of Aurora,
for the City of Aurora,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the State of Illinois
and the State of Illinois
and all local ordinances,
and all local ordinances,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and I will faithfully and impartially
perform the duties of my office
perform the duties of my office
according to the law
according to the law
and the best of my ability.
and the best of my ability.
Can you give a round of applause?
Taylor Brink. I state your name.
I, Taylor Brink,
Having been duly appointed
having been duly appointed
as an officer of the Aurora Police Department
as an officer of the Aurora Police
for
Department,
the City of Aurora,
the City of Aurora,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the State of Illinois
and the State of Illinois
and all local ordinances,
and all local ordinances,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
perform the duties of my office
perform the duties of my office
according to the law
according to the law
and the best of my
to
ability.
the best of my ability.
Daniel Vargas. I state your name.
I, Daniel Vargas,
Having been duly appointed
having been duly appointed
as an officer of the Aurora Police Department
as an officer of the Aurora Police Department
for the City of Aurora,
for the City of Aurora,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the State of Illinois
and the State of Illinois
and all local ordinances,
and all local ordinances,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and I will faithfully and impartially
perform the duties of my office
perform the duties of my office
according to the law
according to the law
and the best of my ability.
and the best of my ability.
William King III. I state your name.
I, William King,
Having been duly appointed
having been duly appointed
as an officer of the Aurora Police Department
as an officer of the Aurora Police Department
for the City of Aurora,
for the City of Aurora,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the State of Illinois
and the State of Illinois
and all local ordinances,
and all local ordinances,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
perform the duties of my office
perform the duties of my office
according to the law
according to the law
and the best of my ability.
and the best of my ability.
Didier Cervantes. I state your name.
I, Didier Cervantes,
Having been duly appointed
having been duly appointed
as an officer of the Aurora Police Department
as an officer of the Aurora Police Department
for the City of Aurora,
for the City of Aurora,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the State of Illinois
and the State of Illinois
and all local ordinances,
and all local ordinances,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
perform the duties of my office
perform the duties of my office
according to the law
according to the law
and the best of my ability.
and the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Nayeli Perez. I state your name.
I, Nayeli Perez,
Having been duly appointed
having been duly appointed
as an officer of the Aurora Police Department
as an officer of the Aurora Police Department
for the City of Aurora,
for the City of Aurora,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the State of Illinois
and the State of Illinois
and all local ordinances,
and all local ordinances,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
perform the duties of my office
perform the duties of my office
according to the law
according to the law
and the best of my ability.
and the best of my ability.
Okay, congratulations. And Richard Dykstra. I state your name.
I, Richard Dykstra,
Having been duly appointed
having been duly appointed
as an officer of the Aurora Police Department
as an officer of the Aurora Police
for
Department
the City of Aurora,
for the City of Aurora,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the State of Illinois
and the State of Illinois
and all local ordinances,
and all local ordinances,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
perform the duties of my office
perform the duties of my office
according to the law
according to the law
and the
maybe. I was gonna say a couple words.
You want to say a few words?
Yeah.
After they, do you want them to say
Yeah.
something?
Yeah. So if you guys want to have a seat over here, just real quick.
We'll do this before you leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sorry, guys, we're just kind of changing up the order a little bit. The command staff officers, the command staff officers, their apology they can't be here. They're actually at a convention where they're supporting the officers who were shot at Pratt right now. So you'll be seeing them. We're also in about 14 weeks when all's done with everything. There's gonna be a more formal ceremony. So just FYI. First and foremost, I want to just mention that my name is Jeff Winsek. I'm the day watch commander at the Aurora Police Department. Also here we also have Lieutenant Dan Eppard. He's in the Office of Professional Standards. You guys probably heard of like internal affairs and stuff like that. That's him over there. So like in the movies, you probably see the executioner, the guy who wears the big leather mask on the face and swings the axe. He doesn't wear a mask. So, but he's a good guy. He's actually just it's his job to go figure out the truth. You've got Lieutenant Joe Weber back over there. He's the investigations lieutenant. He's a short timer. He's getting ready to retire. Good police also. And then you've got Lee Katavu, Officer Lee Katavu. He's the union president. You'll be seeing him and talking to him more. You've got Steve Trapp, Officer Steve Trapp back over here, and you also have Nancy Rodarte. She's actually a retired sergeant from here, our juvenile specialist, who's come back and she does background checks. So I just want to say a couple things to the new people coming on. This is going to be a 14-week process for you guys. So family, friends, you're going to need to support them as much as possible. It's stress. Anytime you start a new job, it's stress. Do we have former law enforcement here? Okay, so we got, okay, cool. As you guys, well then, as some people know, but some people are going to find out that you've taken on a noble profession. You've taken on a profession where it's lovely. You start off at the bottom of the totem pole. You're going to be passing up holidays. You're going to be passing up wonderful days off. You're going to start with great days off. You're going to see from the very beginning how easy it is to get into some really nice restaurants because your date day is going to be like a Wednesday. All right, and then so that can be a good thing. You don't have to make reservations as much. Also, taking on this position, you're taking it on knowing that you're going to be mistreated. You're knowing that you're probably going to be battered at some point in time. You're going to be disrespected, and all of this while working on those holidays. You're going to with those bad days off. And then, unfortunately, because you don't work for the fire department, you have to be awake during all of them too. Okay, and that's a little jest. I was hoping there'd be some firemen here who I could kind of zing it to. We kind of go back and forth teasing each other, so it's all in good. But also let you guys know that you will survive this. And then in the blink of an eye, your days off will be getting better. Your job will be getting better. You'll be getting more comfortable in your careers, and the next thing you know, you're rocking and rolling, and then you're an old fart up here talking about what it's like for new officers. I still remember when I was in your position, and it's funny because on the first one over here, I kind of had a flashback. Thought about my grandma who was here, who was my best friend when she was alive, and I'm thinking about her watching me, and I'm just knowing how proud she was of me at that point. So it's pretty cool to be able to see that. I mentioned some of the problems with being a cop, but also you're being given a wonderful opportunity. You're going to be the hero to children you've never met before. You will be literally saving people's lives. You'll be the reassuring presence in the person's time of crisis, and you will have the opportunity to witness things that you never thought you would ever be able to witness. That can be a good thing, and that can be a bad thing, but it's a pretty cool thing, I gotta say that, after having 25 years on. And then you'll probably notice that when you start going through the law books more so, you'll see that in Illinois, the law enforcement officers are called peace officers, because that's our job, is to keep the peace. And but also with that, as they say in the old Spider-Man comic books, with great responsibility comes with great power comes great responsibility. And that's a huge contrast to what you see in action movies. You see in Bad Boys, you know, they're involved in shootouts all over the place, running gun battles, and next thing you know, they're in their boss's office. They have a sip of scotch, and then they're back out in the street again. Guess what? That ain't happening. It's a whole lot different. It's a whole lot different than that, but also it's a very cool thing. You probably won't be driving around brand new officer. You probably won't be driving around in a Kangol and an undercover Cadillac. That's for the movies. That's for the movies. You may get there one day. We've got a lot of specialized units at the Aurora Police Department, but you won't be there for a little while. The reality of it is that it was something that I remember a guy I worked with at a retail establishment that just before I got hired on, a kid came aside and he says, "Oh, you're gonna become a cop?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, my uncle always sold me something," and I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be priceless." And then he says, he says, my uncle said, you got a star on your chest. Yeah, there's a star. And then he's like, "Yeah, well, that star is also a target." And I thought about that, and I'm like, "Well, that's kind of bleak, but thanks, bro." And but then while it does sound a little melodramatic, it is true. We have to hold ourselves to a higher standard. If you don't, you get to meet Lieutenant Uppert over here. But also, you know, we are the targets of some people, but we take this job on knowing that. We understand that we see people on their worst days. People don't call 911 to go say, "Hey, guess what? I love the police." That would actually be a arrestable fine. You can't go call the cops up, call 911, and you use that just go say, "Hey, how's it going?" That's for emergency purposes only. And then I get it. You know, when we have a car, when we get a wheel alignment on our car, we get a really awesome wheel alignment. Probably not too many of us are calling the mechanic up and saying, "Hey, guess what? My car's tracking great today. I just want to say thanks, bro." You're not doing that. We're there when people need us, and we're paid to be those first responders. Cecil Hart, he was a old lieutenant who we had there. And he's no longer with us, but actually his next two generations are working for us currently right now. And then he had told me something as a brand new officer that I want to pass on to you guys. And then he says, "Treat everybody as you would want to be treated until you can't do your job anymore, and then do what you got to do." And you know what? It's simple. That part is pretty darn simple, and it's also pretty hard. But that was probably some of the best advice that was given to me. You know, we talk about the golden rule. You know, we talk about the book of Luke. I'm not going to mention that because there's a separation between church and state. So we're going back to the old golden rule. But it comes down to it's as simple as that. Treat everybody as you want to be treated until you can't do your job safely anymore. Then do what you got to do. Cecil may have thrown in an expletive at one point in time, but I'm not going to do that. That wasn't in the book of Luke either. But just letting you guys know, you guys are taking on something great. You guys are part of our family, and we consider you guys a part of our family. So welcome, stay hungry, stay humble, and just do the best you can. We can't ask any more of you. So with that being said, pictures can be taken over here until 9 o'clock. And then at 9 o'clock, you'll be meeting Tasha at the watchtower over here, which is also a big clock up on the wall. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Richard C. Irvin.
How you guys doing today?